I welcome you all on our Certified DevOps Engineer Training Program. This is our roadmap. According to roadmap, we have completed day 1, day 2, day 3, and in last session so far, we also level up our game. As usual, those who are tuning in later, so they can scan this QR code. They can register themselves for training. This is my volunteer work, free of cost, to support the people like you are entering into the DevOps field. So what we will cover today, before that I quickly recap what we have done. So we have done all these things, and then we done with the basic commands, and after that we started our GitHub edition. In that we completed how we can create a secure account, what are the options available on the repository page, create the initialization of remote repository in different way, creating our personal access token, connecting with the repository, cloning various options, and finally push code to the remote. So that's what we done in last session. So all on our version control system, we have completed part 1, 2, 3, and then we started this. And in last session, we couldn't complete everything in this part or in this section. So we seen how we can do and configure SSH key with our remote repository, right? And then we also learn about how we can set up our profile in order to GitHub or Git knows, okay, who is doing the commit or making the changes in the code. Then we also saw about branch, how we can how we can manage the branching. So I will again quickly touch upon this because we will be continue on this part. And this was the logs, and then we see, okay, on master we have this thing. Then we check the masters, git branch master. This is the command to check on which branch we are on, right? And this was the visualization of the current situation what we have. And head, it means what is currently, or what things of the repository currently we can see or head is pointing to. So that's why we have head. And then we created a branch, right? It says git branch. Here we checked, but here we said git branch b1. This was the command to create a branch. But when we run this command, it doesn't switch branch from master to b1. But so this is what happened when we execute this command. In order to go to this branch, right? So we have to execute another command, git checkout and branch name to branch we want to switch on. So this is the example. Not the example. This is what happened. And when we do like this checkout, then head is start pointing to this. And all this happened in, this is the summary, like git branch b1, git checkout, and then we got all the files which were in branch b1 or from where we check out. So it is not really necessary you always have to go to master branch and or main branch and check out from there. You can do checkout from any branch to any branch, and you can also do the merging for the same. So then we the logs, and after that exactly everything, not only the content, even the all the changes, metadata, everything, commit history, everything we got once we do the checkout from the branch. So this is what happened last time, right? And we also saw how we can do the merging of the branch from one branch to another branch. So this was the case, checkout from master, and we created branch 1, and now head is pointing to the branch b1. Now we can see both branches have the same change logs or change history, right? Then files also over there. Then we did some changes in branch 1. Here we just created one file, merge b1 master txt. Then we did add just to move file to the staging area. Then we did the commit to make our final changes. And after this, what happened, right? And then here the branch b1 got this commit id. But still, once we do commit, then in order to merge our branch b1 into the master, we need to do checkout means we have to go back to the master branch. And for that we have command git checkout master. Or once we execute this command, it start means the current branch we are at, right? And when we execute this command, so head is start pointing to this branch. It means we are in the branch b1. Then sorry, not b1, master. Once we switch back to the branch, okay, so in this case we want to merge b1 branch into the master, right? If we have multiple branches, then let's say we have branch b1, b2, b3, and we want to merge branch B3 into B1 or B2 into B1, right? So first we have to come to the branch where we want to merge another branch into. So in this case, we want to merge branch B1 into branch master. That's why did checkout and come to the master branch first. And after that on master branch here, we are at currently on branch master, and then execute the command git merge and B1 because we want to merge this B1 branch into the master. And then as soon as we perform this, then all the commits, everything go back to the or merge into the master branch, right? And then we also saw this, both the branches have the same thing, or I would say the same content or same changes once we merge, right? But merging doesn't mean it deletes the branch. Okay, so if you merge in this way, so still your branch B1 will be there. When you follow along this scenario, you will realize this is what we done so far till last session. So today we are going to start undoing the changes. So this section is also equivalently important, but I would say out of all the things which we have learned, this is most important. Why? Because so far we learn how we edit, how we merge, how we can create. But for example, accidentally when you make some changes in your code and you push your code into the production and something happened, not, I would say, good thing, and in that case you know how you can quickly undo the whatever changes you have made. Here this title is a undo like a pro. So here there are so many things, right? There are so many places we do changes on locally, we do changes on remotely, and so we have to see, okay, where we want to do unmerge. Very broad level, I just said when you push the change to the final repository and it starts pipeline and some code has deployed to your production server, let's say. This is really broad statement, right? But it is also possible because when you're working on your local system, on your local repository, then we saw already we have working directory, we have staging area, we have repository, where the file is finally committed on local system. So in all three can be possible where we need to do undo the changes. It is also possible when we push the changes on the remote repository, then how we can undo changes from the remote repository. So let's see one by one what are the possible changes we have. And additionally, I would also like to mention over here today, I will also explain how version control system Git and GitHub actually use in DevOps workflow, right? So we will do the demo project after once we have all the concept in place. So before I start, let you know how you can do undo changes if you are on Ubuntu, right? So most likely it happens. I mean, not most likely, but yes, it's always the default text editor is your Nano. If you're good with that, or if that's your preferable text editor, then just skip this further 2-3 commands which I'm going to show you and go ahead with the further topics. But I personally like to use Vim. I also showed you before Vim, because when you do undo the things, you will definitely encounter an default file open in Nano Editor, and it's really kind of if you don't know how to do this, and then it would be a problem. So better if Nano is your preferable, you like, I mean, I would not say I don't like, but if that is your preferable editor, go ahead and use. But if not, so you have to execute this command: update alternatives, query editor, and graph value. So by default, it says on my system, on my Ubuntu system, Nano is the default one. Then I have to change it. So I will execute this command: sudo update alternatives config editor. It will give you output like this. Okay, select the number 3 if you want to change. Of course we want to change, that's why we are executing this command. And once you select 3, it means then your default editor will be configured as a Vim. Then you can again run this command and you will see, okay, Vim basic is your Vim editor now. So that's a quick note before we go ahead and jump into the edit. Okay, then let's come over here. So this is our current scenario, right? We have a branch master and branch B1, both has the same commits. There is no changes at all the files, everything is same. Currently we are at branch 1. So now onwards, the next commands which I'm going to execute, which is I'm going to execute on branch B1, right? So let's see. So on first let's see what kind of undo we can do on local system, right? Or local, or I would say locally. So in first session we talk about this, what is working directory, what is staging area, and this is our remote local repository. So logically our project folder is divided into three things or three part. One is logically, so everything in one, but we can say logically there are three things. One is working directory, one is staging area, and one is the local database where .git folder is there, right? So first we see how we can do the changes um, locally. So locally, even in local we have, so it says undo local commits but keep the changes. We might come across a scenario where we accidentally add some content into the file, right? And file goes to here in this section, right? But currently the file is not staged, it is in our working directory, right? So it's similarly like when I create a folder and I create this file, right? And I run the command git status, it gives me in red color and which says okay, the file is untracked. Then when we do git add and the file name, then file moves over here, right? So here what I have done, I just say okay, echo this change one local, undo last commit, keep things keep changes into this file, right? So I executed this command. After that what happened, git, when I execute this command git add local, the I mean simply the file name, then file moves to index area, right? And after that I committed with this commit with change one and this file name, right? And one commit is created, and then I again run the command git status, then it says on branch b1 nothing to commit, right? It means our file is now, I mean still it is in the same folder, but now it is committed. Now created a one kind of hash, right, which is we call commit id here, right? And it is stored into local repository. Now file is a part of local repository. Then again I have to make changes, right? I want to do undo this commit, but still whatever content I have put in the file, I don't want to lose that, right? So let's see how we can do it. So then I said git log one line, this is the one of the command, right, by which I can, so if I say git log one line, it will give me all the logs of the so far whatever happened. But I just limit those, last three is enough. Then I said dash and three, and I know okay, this is the latest commit with the change one. So when we committed, so file has this commit id, right, which is the same over here. So nothing special, we already seen this several times, right? And after that what happened, again I executed the command git status, file is okay. So on branch master nothing to commit, and working tree is clean, right? Then we have to execute git reset soft head. So git reset is one of the command, right, which can be used with various options. So but in this case what we are going to do, we are going to make changes, undo the local commits but keep the changes. So in this case this file is committed and we want to remove this commit, right? But because it might be possible, let's say I have added a 10 line of code and I have to add more, I forgot to add 10 more lines of code, and before that accidentally I committed, right? So in that case this commit id should not be there, but my content should be still available in the file. So that's what I want. So in that case, or in that kind of scenario, this command is very helpful, right? So when we execute this command, then this what happened, git reset soft had one, right? And after that I run the git status, it says changes to be committed, and we know changes to be committed, it means file has come back again on our staging area, right? Then I again see okay, git log one line, okay, it's not online, it's a one line, and we say this one. So again the change number 2 was our original commit, right? And number is this one, so we give the message change one something something like that, and which is not over here. So when you run this command git reset soft, right, and the head, then the last commit will be gone, but whatever changes you have made in the file, so I have put like this change one, this one, right, it is still there. So in that kind of scenario, in that kind of thing, you need this kind of command by which you can undo the last comment, but still you don't want to lose the file content, so use soft, right? Then next we are going to see how we can do the renaming as well. But before that, in that command, do you have any question? Okay, yeah, yeah, okay, okay, so this is done. Now we will see, because this file name is too long and I want to rename the file name, right? So I don't need to explain where is the scenario. This scenario can be happen several times or any times when you are working on the code. So maybe accidentally you put a file, right? And let's say in some environment file, you're using some environment kind of file which contains some kind of variables, right? And you want to use the same file in for another project in that case, but you don't want to lose the history, right? So you could use rename, right, instead of just removing and recreating. So what I have done, okay, file is still there. I have say git move or mv. So mv is Linux command, but now we have to execute, or we want to execute a git command to rename, so git can track it. Okay, so git move this long file name, and I said instead of big one, I said local undo.txt. Okay, as soon as I had done, move the rename the file, then move file is again renamed and considered as a modified, right? So that's why it has come back into the staging area, right? And it also say changes to be committed. Then uh, again, now I haven't committed the file, right? But still you could see the content of the file. So file is renamed. I could confirm using git ls dash files. This is the command. So our file is renamed and file contents are still there, right? Now as file is modified, then I have to do commit, right? I have to save everything is fine. I was 200% sure. Now I want to save it. We can use this command git commit dash am and rename in this long string the message. So what after that? So once we commit, then it says okay, b1, it means branch b1. This is the commit id. Rename this to local and local dash undo.txt, and again file move back to the repository, local repository. I could also confirm it by using the git log one line dash n, and I can check okay, this log and this log is the same, right? After that, so that was about the renaming a file. Now we will see about the undoing local commits and remove the changes. So first we saw about how we can just undo the last commit, but in this case I also want to do undo the last commit as well as I don't want the content of the file at all. So that's why it says undoing local commits and removing changes, right? So when use this, when you need to completely remove the last commits, okay, and it's changes, but be cautious as this is irreversible. So once you will perform this, then there is no way back to get this file. So execute this command with very cautiously, very responsibly, and you are sure you what you are doing, right? So I have checked, okay, git status on branch, nothing to commit, everything is clean. Okay, my file is over here. Next, what I have to do, I have executed this command echo change to undo last commit, remove changes. I have just added this text into the same file, nothing, right? As soon as I perform this, then again file move back to this portion, this indexing area, right? And after that it is in stage. So I said git add local, and then I did perform a commit, git commit, and commit with change to. So change to is my commit message, undo last this thing, right? And again the same thing on branch b1, we got this commit id, right? And now finally file back into the repository, local repository. Then I check, okay, I check the content of the file. I know change 1 and change 2 is recently happened. Then I can also check by the git log one line, and last 3 logs are enough, right? So everything is over here, but I want to remove this 3721c93 commit, right? So what I will do, I have option git reset, but this time we need to use dash dash hard. Okay, and had it means when you execute this command, right, it says head pointing to b1. So it is not necessary, okay, whichever. So we want to undo last commit, that's why we are providing a number 1. So if you want to go for this one, provide 2. If you want to go for this one, provide number 3, or so on and so forth, right? So we want to undo last commit as well as whatever changes we have made, right? So that's why I had given over here git reset hard, okay, and head, and this tilde sign, then 1. So head is now this one, right? It says now E9D2C93 and rename local and all these things, right? So let's see. And when we do the log, and in log we can also see head is not pointing to this one. When we rename the file, right, we no longer able to see the change to. There was a commit, right, before. When we put a commit message change to, and same I can see git status. So everything is here, files is still here, right, and nothing to commit at all, right? Additionally, if I can see the compare the content, right, so before it was this, we had these two messages in the file or content in the file. Now we have changed one only. So change 2 was part of the commit which we discarded. So we want to discard these changes as well as the commit, right? File is not gone anywhere. File will be still there. Whatever happened in this commit, where is this? Let me show you. Yeah, whatever happened in this commit will be gone, and this commit will also gone. Okay, so that's what happened over here. So that's why this two file. If you want to remove the file completely, then you need to execute a command git rm and the file name, and then you have to do the changes, right? And then so you can get back that file later. Okay, so these are the option. So first option we saw is undoing the commit itself, right? Second option we saw the rename of the file. Third option we saw remove the content of the file as well as the last commit what we did. So all these three can be helpful when you are working with your local repository or local code. Do you have any question? Okay, thank you. So this is about this, and as you saw, we just moving the file here and there. So we also have some chance sometimes, like when we are, let's go over here what I'm talking about so you get more information, right? So out of these three at the moment, like here, when I'm continuing with the same, so discarded the commit as well as changes, right? So when I execute this command git ls files, we have still same file is here. Then I have added more content. So when I execute this command, then this file move back to the indexing area, right? And I have added what reverting changes in file. So this time, before we saw everything about the commit, right? And here we will see when we are working on particular file, particular code, right? So how we can make changes in that way. So when you are working on the file, so file may be here. When you are working on the file, so file could be here, or file could be here as well, right? So in this case, we have just added this content. Then I said git add, and as soon as I perform this command, then file move back to my here to here, right? And that's what it's showing. Then I have committed, okay, commit with the file added. So I have file added revert. So just remember, we will be adding more files, and I will be following the same convention, right? Commit or initial commit or file added, so we know, okay, this was the first commit in this file. Okay, so when I commit, then it gives me on, still we are on branch b1, we didn't switch the branch. Okay, then this is the commit, and it says commit with file added and this file name, and these things happen. And after that we can see, okay, same contents are over here. I can also check or verify by the logs itself, and here this is our commit message. Okay, there is no changes, this is initial file, right? We have just added. So we are preparing for a scenario where we need to unstage changes in file. Okay, So let's go ahead and see what we have next. Again, I have modified the file. So now we are preparing for this to see how unstaged changes in the file happen. Okay, so I have echo, I have modified, I have put this content change 3, right, and unstaged change, and in this file. Then I said git status, and it says okay, changes not staged for the commit, and it says modified file. Okay, it means file is modified, right? It was already staged before, right? We saw already, and as soon as we put more content, it means file has come back to our working area, right? So it says modified, so we know what, when the file, we make any changes in the file, then what we need to do. So again, I just get out what are the contents. So these are the content, these are the logs, and after that, yeah, I said okay, git checkout dash dash reverting this file name, right? So what I have done over here, so my file was over here, right? I accidentally put this content where it was, yeah. So I, let's say I accidentally put this content. I did want to put this content into this file, maybe some other file, right? So maybe let's say the code for the front end, or maybe my JavaScript page or something like that, right? But I accidentally put in infrastructure as a, or my infrastructure code file. So again, file move back in here. So I know this is the command I have once I execute this command, right? So my file will be again go back to the, it's a previous state, right? So what I have done, so I said git checkout dash dash and the file name, right? So now changes are modified and file moved back to previous state, and commit as well. So we did not lose anything. So accidentally we put the content in this file, then we said okay, check out. So we did check out and given the file name. So that's how we unstate, right? So whatever things or whatever changes or files were in our working directory moved, right? So we were doing the unstaged changes in the file, right? So when I execute git checkout, then file move back to my local repository back without losing any data, right? Even the commit as well. Okay, all changes of the files gone, only shows the changes of the previous commit. Okay, so this is what happened when we unstage the file. Okay, so this is one of the command, git checkout and revert changes. Okay, when you have question, just raise a hand, I'll answer. So let's move to the next one. Okay, so when file is staged, right, and we want to make some changes into that, so this command removes the changes in a specific file, right, from staging area if file is over here, right, but keep the changes in your working directory. So accidentally we let's say we are working on something, and we committed file to the staging area, but we want it to move back to the, or we have to add more content into that. So instead of doing 2 3 4 commits, so we again undo or unstage the file, and again modified the file, and then finally make one commit, right? There are other ways as well by where we can squeeze the commit, and we can give a one commit for multiple commits as well. But in this case, we are just talking about if we file is accidentally moved to the staging area, then how we can get it back, right? So again, the scenario echo change 4 stage change, then I get out the file, I can see change 4, and after that I said git status, right, and git status says modified, right? So what we can do then, git add, then we have to add the file, right? Then git status, and now say changes to be committed, right? So now what happened, file is over here, but what we want to make a changes in this stage file. Okay, then what I have done, I said git reset head in the file name, right? So file moved back to my again working area. It means it is unstaged. So unstaged is simply mean whatever changes I was, or things I was doing. Okay, so I reviewed and I did git add and the file name, then Git consider, okay, the guy is working on, he reviewed the changes and now he wants to or she wants to commit the code or the changes. Okay, but we realize later on, no, this is not the case, we want to do something else. So again, to move file or get our file back in our area, we execute this command git reset add and the file name, right? And then I say git status, so we know once the file is over here, it says modified. Of course it's modified because we undo the stage, right? And that's why it's showing in red color. Now we will see undoing changes after pushing to the remote. So far whatever we have seen, undo, you can do the things on your local. You may have a case where you already committed and push everything to the remote and then you realize, okay, I don't want to do that, accidentally I put over there. So in this case, what? So let's see first undoing changes after pushing to the remote. Let me quickly tell you what I have done over here. So I have checked out to branch B2. So here, since from here we have changed to branch B2, right? And it says switch to new branch B2. In this case, I have switched to branch B2 from the branch B1. Okay, I didn't go to branch B1 and then branch and then create branch B2. I was on B1 branch, right? And from there I have created another branch and that is B2. So now we know, okay, when we create a branch from one branch to another, then we get exact copy along with all the history, okay, everything from that. Okay, so now the branch is B2. And then in this I have done what, echo and undoing changes after pushing to remote.txt. So this file is added, so we are preparing for that. We created this file. Okay, I could see this file is over here, git ls files, and here git add. So when I perform git add, file is now here, and again I can check. Okay, so undoing changes after pushing to remote, this was not before. Okay, once we add the file, then git start tracking this, right? That's what we know. And then I have done the commit, and it says initial commit, and in initial commit I have given the name undoing changes after pushing to the remote.txt file added. How we can identify which branch we are on? So we can see, okay, B2 is the branch, right? And from B2 we could see we got this commit, and that's what is over here, right? So once we commit, then file is finally come into our local repository. So now we are prepared for our scenario. Okay, we have local file name is undoing changes after pushing to remote, and yeah, that's what we committed so far. So next what we will do here, so next I said, okay, git push origin, and now I have to provide a branch B2. And you know, when I told you guys to, when we are configuring the repository, right? So there was an option -u or upstream. So I told you don't use this because we are learning, right? And so you are learning, so you know, and that is also additionally a safe side, right? So you know, okay, where you have to push the code. So when you don't set that upstream, then it will throw you an error, right? And in this case, I mean, when you try it, don't put branch v2 and see what happened. But keep in mind, you should not be have been set up any upstream before, okay? Otherwise it will push code over there. And if you didn't set up that, then execute a command git push origin, you will see what error it will give. Okay, so I have given a branch v2 and it says, okay, everything is fine. And now we know, okay, new branch, it means this branch was not on remote, it has been created. So all the codes, all the changes has pushed the my remote repository in this case. Now we are good. Okay, so far I'm very happy, my code is okay. Wow, I pushed the remote repository, and then I realized accidentally while I was doing modification in my file, and I was along with that I was also chatting with my colleague. Okay, and I was so involved, and I forgot to set something. Then I need something by which I can do I mean, I can undo the whatever changes I have made at remote, right? So let's see. But before that, we can also confirm, right, by the git log, right? We could see head is pointing to B2 and origin B2 as well. I will come on this part as well. So you might be wondering why B2 and origin slash B2, right? So we will talk about this. But so far, just think, okay, this branch was created and we can see our head is pointing to branch B2. Okay, then what I have done, okay, the content, just to show you, I cat this file. I could see, okay, this file is added. Now my file is still is over here. This is the commit. Then now we are going to, I mean, we are set. Now we are entering into the scenario what happened. Then I have made some changes in there. I add this, I commit this, and now I don't need to explain this to you. And after that, A2, A06, A1, and the same is over here as well, right? So the file was committed. I could also see by the logs. Then I said git push origin B2, right? Then again, of course, I did not put animation over here. Now we know, okay, when we perform this command, it means that whatever changes. So for this, the changes was, the recent changes was change 5, right? So that change has pushed to my remote repository, and this time it doesn't say new branch, right? Because already the branch is in remote repository. And when I change, I mean when I cat, I could see the content of the file is over here, right? While you are doing, I would say prefer less and this file name. Okay, I just put cat to, so that I could take a snapshot and show you the content however you like, your preference. So, and after pushing, I check the branch B2, okay, in the SAM repository, okay, and here my commit is A2 A06A1, and this is the commit message, exactly what I have got. And this is the initial commit. So far we had two things, right? So everything is done. I'm happy, right? Next, then um, then I went on the coffee break with my another friend and a colleague. Then I realized I accidentally made some changes, which I should have not been done, right? Then I run back to my desk, and then I know, okay, this is the command git revert, and where I want to do the changes, right? So if you see over here, this 63A71E1, right? And here is this one. So I want to actually, there are two possibility. You could provide any commit ID. Okay, I'll come back to you why I have given this one. Okay, so for a moment, let's say we want to revert over here. So I just copy and paste it over here, and it says conflict, modified or delete. Okay, and it has given me a lot of hints, right? Then I said, okay, git status, it says, so one thing over here, whenever you perform any undo or something, always make your habit to execute git status command, which gives you the insight what happened in git log also. I mean, later on you really don't need to, but even when you are starting, you are doing practice, regardless anything, always use git log one line, git log. Then I mean, first start with the git log, then you will be very annoyed by this long listing of logs. Then use git log dash dash one line. Then you think, okay, I don't need this log because log history is too long. Then you are only interested in first two or three. So then use git log dash dash one line dash n one or two, and I mean the number of logs you want to see. Okay, so after that I executed the command git status. What happened, right? So because here, of course, it gives it has given me the error. That's why I executed this command, but it's still, right, to see what happened. That's how we learn, right? So in this it says could not revert initial commit. Okay, and then I executed this command to see more information. It says, okay, I cannot do this, but it says, it doesn't tell me what exactly happened. So I executed this command, right? And here it says you are currently reverting to this commit. Okay, this commit is this one, not this one. Then it says unmerged path, right? So there are some changes happened. So what changes? Because I have made some content added in this file, right? And it says deleted by them, and in this, right? So this information I could not see over here. It says only error, right? I mean, of course, it is also giving me all of these things, okay, and modified head and version and all these things, but I clearly see when I run the state command, right? Then next, what I have done, I said, okay, we know it was in, I think, here, right? Never working because it says deleted or something like that. So I put the file over here. Then I said git add, then git status. Then it says on branch master, you are currently reverting, commit ID this one, and nothing to commit, working tree is clean. But it also gave me some suggestions over here. It says git revert continue, skip or abort. I said continue. I want to do continue. I don't want whatever thing happened somebody else could see, right? So I said, okay, let's continue. And still it's giving me nothing. It says the same thing. Then remember, whenever you are doing this thing, so you should know what you want to revert. So we have pushed over here, like if you see in a log, right? So this was the thing, still we have pushed, right? And we want to revert back to this one. Then I said, okay, get revert this one. If I come back over here, right? So I should have been provide, or I want to revert to this one, not to this one. Okay, so just to show you, don't be afraid when you have this kind of things. Execute this command and see what is happening. Go to your favorite AI companion, type the error over there, that will give you the solution. Okay, but just to show you, these things can be possible, this can be happen, and this is just a beginning. There are so many other stuff as well. Okay, so then this thing happened. Then I said, okay, git revert, this was the most recent commit. Then it says, okay, b2 reverting commit with this one, okay, and blah blah blah, and we are fine with that. And still you could see the commit is over here I have put. And then I have checked git log dash dash one line dash n4. Now what happened? So before we have changed 5. Okay, so instead of removing or reverting back the commit, what it has done, it has reintroduced a new commit. Okay, now everybody knows what I have done in over here. Okay, so this command, what it does, it actually undo your changes. Okay, so far we didn't make any changes in remote, but in locally we have made changes. So still this commit is over here. Anybody can go back to this commit and check what I have put over there. But when I execute this command git revert in this, so it introduced new commit which is says revert, right? And it says commit with change 5, remote is this on b2. Okay, is the same actually. Here we have prefix, not prefix, but to start with revert, right? So we know it's a revert commit. So it is good when you want to keep your history intact. Okay, so for example, when I was preparing for this scenario, I put that one. When I was reverting, it says, okay, the merge path or something was our message, right? Git status. So I want to put over here, right? I wanted to share with you. That's why I showed you. In this kind of thing, or in that kind of scenario, use git revert, right? Because sometimes you want to know, okay, what mistake I had did before. So in that way, quickly you could see, okay, I did revert and revert for this one. So you quickly check out to this commit, and you can go back in the time and you could see, okay, I have made this mistake before, and next time maybe it is possible you encountered after 6 or 7 months later the same issue or same scenario, right? Then you can quickly come back and see, okay, and because our memory is like that, whatever we are doing currently, we are in get in touch with the things we remember, but we remember, okay, that thing happened at that time. So you could quickly check in the log history, you could see, okay, that was my revert, or we know now the Linux command. We can also do the grab. We can also filter out. There are so many utilities available. So you could quickly filter out and find out, okay, this was the revert, and for regarding to this revert, you could do the checkout, and you know, okay, what I have done over here, and you quickly fix the thing. So in that kind of things, right, if your scenario is like that, you could just do the revert, because you also want to keep your previous commit as well. Okay, this is one thing. I also already told you how you can get rid of the particular commit as well in previous, when we start this. So that is also one of the command by which you can entirely remove the commit as well. So now it's your turn. You need to decide what is your use case, but this is one of the way to do the undo the things, right? So this was previous case. So here, when we revert, then we lost these changes, right? So it's still, we did not make changes to the remote, but yeah, locally we did. Now once we done with the local, very simple, straightforward. You do not have to go to the remote, whatever, because ultimately the changes you are making on your local, you are pushing to the remote, right? So now we will do git push origin v2, and it says, okay, it says connect to host git, this port network is unreachable. Then I again retry. Sometimes it happen. Okay, so don't worry, this is kind of message you may be encountered. Okay, then again I retried git push origin v2, and then it successfully pushed everything, right? And when I go over here, so it's the same commit, right, is pushed to over here, right? This one 8.3 and something like that. Okay, but it is start with revert. It is not new commit, it is reverted commit. So you know, okay, right before this was the error, and you can quickly check it out in future if you need. Okay, so that was about this. So undoing changes after pushing to remote. And now is the scenario undoing commit plus changes after pushing to remote, right? So before, the case is fine, I wanted to keep my history, right? This time I decided to keep my history, but that was very embarrassing. Okay, my teammate checked out and they saw what I have done, and they said, what you have done, it's not what you have done at your level. Okay, so I decided, okay, next time I will not keep in that way. I learn new command, and that says, okay, you can remove changes as well as your commit history entirely. But I told you, you need to decide when you have to execute what. Okay, so in this case, let's quickly go back. Fun enough. So again, I have checked, it's a revert one. Then what I've done, I said git reset head one. Simple. That's what we saw right before. Right. Again, my file come over here. It says modified. I know because I made changes, right? Because now head is pointing to somewhere else. And then you could see commit with changes 5. There is no revert at all anymore. Then again, I did the commit. New commit is over here. And after that, again, I could see the logs. I do the commit, undoing the last commit from remote as well. Okay, and I know now what I have to do. I have to do the push, and it says, okay, I'm not allowing you the push which I was trying to do. It got rejected. Okay, and it says non fast forward. Take a time to learn about this term, fast forward and non fast forward. Okay, there are so many other terms as well. We are not going into this, but this time I'm sure what I want to do. That's why I use dash dash force. And once I said dash dash force, then it has to listen to me. And then changes were made or pushed to the remote repository, right? And again, the local, I could see the log by local by this command. Okay. And you could also see undo the last revert. There was a commit here before revert, and that has gone completely. Okay, so that's what happened so far. So this is done with undoing commit plus changes after pushing to remote. Simple. So we have to make changes locally and we simply push our local changes to remote one, and the remote will automatically updated based on the whatever we have done locally. Okay, so nothing is special. Don't think, okay, we have to go to the remote repository and change. No, not at all. Okay, of course you could do from over there, but I would say you should also know how you learn, I mean how you do by the commands by your local system. Okay, do you have any questions, guys? Okay, then I take it as a no. All good. Then next is our discard local changes and sync with the remote. So there are some situations, right, where we completely fed up with the troubleshooting. I believe you all must come across this thing, and nothing was happening. Then we realize, okay, let's remove everything and do the reinstallation or reconfiguration from the scratch, right? Because sometimes that is more faster than the wasting. I would this time, yeah, I would say the wasting time in troubleshooting. Okay, so you need to decide the priority and what is important when. So this time we done lot of things. Okay, so consider the same case. This one, when this my push got rejected, right? I tried all the possible way what I could ever think of. Okay, and still I was not able to figure out what is happening, and I really need to undo the changes which I have already pushed, because of I pushed in a production system, right? Or my main code which I should not have done. So instead of doing the troubleshooting, I decided, instead of wasting my lot of time, I know, okay, there is a way I can quickly discard everything, whatever I have local. My code is on somewhere else. I could clone from there, or I could sync my local system with the remote system, right? This is one scenario. Second thing, there might be possibility when you pull when you merge something, right? So you, let's say your sprint started, you're working on feature, or you're assigning on one of the feature. Let's say, okay, this time we have to create another Kubernetes cluster. As you are a developer, you are working on one of the functionality or feature which is provided. You, if you are testers, you may check out to do the testing, right? And code is already there in remote, and while you are doing something on your local system, accidentally you didn't know what you made changes and how or where or what. So in a situation like mess, right? So instead of again putting lot of efforts, you say, you think, okay, let's do from the scratch, or let's start over. So you need to discard everything from the local. You will pull your code from the remote, or I would say the download, right? Pull or if you are discarding the entire repository, then you are gonna down clone, right? So in that kind of scenario, you this command is helpful. Okay, so here what I've done, okay, now I'm branch b2, git status branch b2 is everything is fine. It says git checkout b1. I moved back to, or I switched branch to b1. Okay, this is what I have done. These are the logs. It says last commit in this one, and then I said, okay, git merge b2. So I was trying to create a scenario over here to just show you how we can. So right, so I have merged branch b2 into b1. So that's why I checked out to branch b1, right? And which is also, I mean, I didn't execute the command git branch again, but we can check head is pointing to b1 here. Okay, and now you see fast forward, and before it was not showing fast forward, right? So read about it. That's for you. I'm not gonna explain. Okay, I could, but it's not relevant here. But when you read it, you will get it. So again, we saw. Okay, okay, thank you. So these are our logs, right? And this time I'm interested in last 7 logs. That's why I've given dash n7. Okay, and if I check, right, so it's my log history is different, right? My local log history, I mean 5b or something, commit at b1 branch, where we have committed b1 branch. Okay, so you could see, okay, instead of reading this message, let's go with this number. These are more quicker. So 5DBBA01. Okay, my eyesights are good. And if I go over here, so if I see, okay, file B1, okay, so all the history, right? Now let's say it's kind of um, messy, right? So I'm tired now. So what I can quickly do, okay, so it's still my history or my changes or my code which I started working on is on remote repository. That's why it always says the best practices. Once you are done, you test it completely, then push your part of the code to the remote repository, right? Then next what happened, I said git status, everything is clean. Then I said git reset hard origin b1. Okay, so here the command is reset hard, right? So command is not new, but we are using it the same command in another way, right? So instead of giving in any of the local commit ID, instead of that I'm giving it to the origin slash b1, right? So I'm not just giving it to a b1. So whenever you see origin, so when you execute the command get origin, you know it will give you some string. Okay, and that's why instead of that github.com, your repository URL name and all this thing, instead of that we had given that a long string a short name, that is origin, right? And here you could see it says origin. So we know origin means what. So all these branches which we could see over here, these are of the remote. So these are the referencing or referring to the remote branches, but these are also having the b1. So at the moment it is not pointing any remote branch. Okay, it is pointing to this, and these are the references of this. Okay, it means all branches have the same thing, and currently our headed branch b1. Okay, then what happened, it says head is now 85 bdba01, this one. Okay, committed branch b1, right? And here we see commit at branch b1. So this is the same one, 5. I mean, this is more convenient to me. Maybe you are feeling this time this is more convenient, but when you used to, then because these are the unique string, that's why I always compare with this. Yeah, so that's what now head is pointing. So I have synced, I mean I discarded everything whatever I had on local. Okay, so I merged from b1 sorry b2 branch to b1. So all the commits which were done, I had done in branch b2, okay, come on into the branch b1. And because of that merge, something happened. So because my code initial code was in branch b1, so I discarded local. So this discard everything locally, it means head is pointing to this one, and I got my all the original commits over here. Now I can easily switch back to branch b1, and I can again make changes, okay, into branch b1, and then again I can merge. So here what happened actually, the use case, this was your original scenario. Okay, so let's say since here let's say version 1.1 point something, that is your production code, and some customer has proposed one new feature, maybe your manager or anybody, then you said okay, now we are going to release 1.2. So but your 1.2 should be work with the 1.1. So once you pull the code with the branch b1, and then you did check out from branch b1 to b2 and start working on, so b2 is your local copy for your b1. Okay, so you have two local copy, b1 is same as your remote, and b2 is when you check out it was same, but now it's a different, right? So in that kind of scenario, these things are very helpful. Okay. There are so many undos. Okay, so next there is a stash. Okay, so stash are like it's also kind of a place inside your git local repository area. It is not available on the remote repository, remember always. If it is, it would be asked you in interview. So remember, stash are not at remote repository level. These are kind of area on your local repository where git save temporary changes. it is also not like staging or index area. Okay, let me quickly, maybe I show you, otherwise 1 2 3 4 here. Okay, so consider, okay, this is one kind of place, stage inside this area. Okay, index, this is stage, this is not stage. Okay, or stash, however you pronounce. Okay, stage is more convenient to me, I'm saying stage. Okay, so but stage is here, not here. Understand, everybody? Just quick reaction. Okay, okay, thank you. So where I was. Okay, I was talking about, so it's stash. So there are possibility. Okay, what possibility? So let's say you're working on something, okay, and all of a sudden somebody came to you, like your superhero, and says, I need really your help. Without your help, I cannot save the world, right? But you cannot leave your work, what you're doing. But you cannot also complete your work because it is gonna take some time, right? So in that kind of scenario, what happened? You have Git provide us a facility, stash. You can temporarily save your changes in a Git because your work is not done yet. You don't want to commit your changes. You have to do more things. So for that, you could do stash. Okay. For in this case, what happened? Git branch v1. Okay. I said git stash list. So this is the command. It will make sense in a bit. Okay. But I thought it is better to go in this way. That's what I first execute this command, git stash list. Then I said, okay, echo change 6 and stash your changes here. Git add stash your changes txt. Then it says, okay, now the file is moved. I thought I really don't need to put animation over here. Now we know the green, it means our changes are in staging area, right? And it says changes to be committed. That's why it is showing in green color, right? And at the same time, when we have this one git stash list, then still we do not have anything git stash. So what happened at this point? You are in between, superhero came to you, ask, okay, I need your help to save the world, come with me. And you cannot say no because it's about the world, right? So you have one thing, it says git stash save work in progress on b1 in stash your changes.txt file. Guys, whenever you'll work on this, okay, always remember, give a very long description about it, because when you come back on this, so you should not be like this. Okay, you have to revisit everything. Okay, so just give a meaningful thing over here. So command is the same, git stash. You need to see what stash you have, or what, how many number of stash you have list. But this time we have to save. And remember, still we are not done with the commit. Okay, the file is in staging area, and from staging we want to save the changes. So we use command git stash save, and it says saving work directory and all this thing. And then I again run a command git stash list. It says stash @1 and on b1, and it says this one. Okay, this is your stash. Okay, so now thing you might be thinking or wondering, why do I need to do this? So when you follow along with this, okay, just switch the branch. Okay, and before switching the branch, okay, run git log, git status, cat out the file, git ls files, and then switch the branch, and then execute all the commands again, and then realize what happened. Okay, I'm not going to tell you, do it practically and you will remember it forever. Okay, so this is what we can list the stash. Okay, so I have saved my work. Now what happened? I said git status, everything is fine on branch b1 because I have stashed my change, I didn't commit. Okay, now I did echo change 7 and critical fake bug fix, right? somebody has come to me and asked, okay, we have to fix the critical fake bug. Okay, so I said, okay, fine, and which is on branch b2. So I just make this file. Again, we know git add, git commit, and branch b2, this is the commit, and then git checkout b1. Okay, after doing all this fix thing, I again come back to my branch b1. Okay, and it says your branch is up to date with origin b1, all thing good. Then again, I'm at branch b1. Remember, if you're following, so remember what branch I have switched to. Okay, then git again branch, and then git stash list. Then it gives gives me this one. Okay, because that's what I set, and here I can see, okay, work in progress on b1. So it also says on b1, but it's still for my own reference what I have put a code. I could see on b1 in stash your or stash dash your changes.txt file. So I quickly go back and resume this file and start or resume my work from opening or working on this file. Okay, now I got another command. Okay, so far it is still showing your repository or your working directory is clean. So what I have to do, okay, when you have multiple, right, when you're working on multiple branches, right, so maybe you have multiple stashes, so you have to decide what you want to do. Okay, so in my case I have one, and that is most recent one. So I simply say git stash apply. So it says, okay, your branch is up to date with origin b1 and changes to be coming. So again, I resume my work where I was before. Okay, everything has come back. Now I can work on this, and you could see git stash list is still there. So I mean, it is applied, but I still have a same um, stash as well. Okay, but sometimes I really don't want that. So I have another option. So git stash list, git stash apply. Those two things we have changed before. I mean, saw before. Now there is option git stash pop. So pop basically what it does. Okay, so it applies your changes as well as drop as well. Okay, because before I applied, but I really don't want that stash again, because if I need, I can again go back in command history and I can execute and save the, I mean, save my stash again, right? So again, I did the same git stash apply, and it's over here. It is then this time I committed, and what I've done again, git stash list, and this time I had this one. Then I said, okay, git stash pop, and this time it says like this. Okay, nothing to commit because it was already there, changes, right? But it dropped the references and all this thing. So when I run again git stash list, so this one, okay, is stash at the rate in flower braces 0 will be gone. So it has come. So that is also one of the command is very handy for the pop. There is also one of the command I'm not showing you. When you practice, do it, git stash drop. Okay, so these are the commands basically you could use. Okay, and now I would quickly like to move on the branches, but before we go ahead, quick reaction guys, if you have any questions or no questions. Any reaction? Okay, okay, thank you Rakesh. So I mean, yeah, it's better to ask. That's why I ask point to point when I feel okay, now it's time to ask if you have any doubt, because what I'm doing over here, I'm sharing the information transferring, it might be overwhelming. Okay, no worries. So of course this is I should, maybe you, or this topic should have been covered in when I showed you the branch one, creating a branch, but I don't think so. We are seeing undo everything, so that's why I put it over here. No harm if you're, but you know the git branch command now very well, right? It says branch b1, and Now I could see there is another branch, another command, git branch r. It will give you the branch information which are remotely. Okay, so that's why you could see origin master head is pointing to this one. Okay, and b1, b2, and of course origin master. These are the remote branches. Now I want to delete branch b2. My work is done. Okay, everything is done. I merge branch b2 into b1, and I push b1 branch to the um, remote repository. I have done testing, all things is done, all good. Now I don't need b2 branch at all. So I have option git branch dash d b2 branch, but again it says it's not fully merged, so I have option dash d. So of course, execute dash capital D option very responsibly. Okay, when you are sure. Okay, I'm sure I don't want branch b2, that's why I use this one. Okay, now git status, everything is fine, our tree is clean, all good. Now what happened? So I said, okay, git branch this one, then git branch a, but here I cannot see, but here still I could see the git branch b2. Then what I have done, I said git push origin. So now we are deleting remote branch. So we have made changes locally. Now it's time to push our local changes to remote, so both will be synced, right? So git push origin dash dash delete b2, and branch b2 will be deleted. And if you go, okay, so you will not be, sorry, it is at wrong place. So this b2 branch will not be visible longer, no longer. Okay, and to refresh my local things, what I can do, git fetch origin. So whatever happened on remotely, it will make all the changes, bring all changes to your local. And then again I execute the command git branch dash r. Then I know, okay, b2 branch has gone from the remote as well, right? So this is how we do the branching or removing the branching in Git. Any questions, guys? No. Okay, thank you. So very quickly, tell you some more things and then we'll take a break. Okay, very quick. So ignore the noise. It's dot git ignore. Okay, so here it means there is a file called dot git ignore. So before we have seen there are a lot of undo things, right? So there is more. I mean, git ignore is not for that, but git ignore is for something else. So let's say, let's see. So git status, okay, again the branch b1 branch is up to date with the origin b1. Okay, because now our branch is b1 is in remote as well. Then what I have done, I could also see with the logs. Okay, these are the logs. Then I also counted how many logs do I have. I have total number of count logs are 5. Okay, it's simply word count dash l, and this is the pipe sign. Okay, Linux command, nothing. Sorry, I mean this is Linux command, but this is git command. So we club both. Then what I have done, I said, okay, instead of echo, because echo doesn't have many other things, so I use printf. So I said I was creating an environment file actually. So what I have done, I said printf access id equals to id, access key equals to key, and slash n, and in env file. Then what happened, I said git status. It says, okay, untracked file. Of course, untracked file because it's a new one. Nothing new. Why you are telling us git again and again? Then what I've done, I have created one file. Okay, it says echo env file. So what I've done here, in .git ignore file, okay, I have just mentioned this was the original file name of my file env, which I was created just before. We are coming on that. I did cat.ignore. The file name is, always remember this file name. Okay, I will also let you know why I'm putting over here, but you put over here, then it says git status and it says untracked file. Of course it's an untracked file, but you see before here we could see the file untracked, it's a env file. But as soon as we put .git file, .git ignore file, it is just ignoring. It is not saying your env a file is untracked anymore. It has gone, right? So .git ignore file is very useful. Okay, this is just, I mean, nothing what I have shown you. Okay, it is really powerful when we go now on GitHub, and I will show you what and how it is really powerful. So the things which you don't want Git to be tracked, put in this file. Okay, so in my case, I don't want Git to be track env file. Okay, as well as commit, as well as push from local to or put it to the remote repository. It's very big problem. If you search on the internet, there are a lot of I mean, now these hackers are doing things differently. They are going to repository, they are searching credentials on the repository. Okay, and many times we create public repository and we forgot. So always remember, when you are working as a DevOps engineer, you have environment file, right, or credentials file. I will show you some shortcut tricks as well very soon. But always remember, check in your team what are the information. I mean, these things are already set up, but when you are setting up for first time, always make sure what things, I mean, readme and .git ignore, both are very important file in your project, right? So very first time when you are setting up, put and configure this thing or update this thing very carefully. Okay, take a time, don't rush just to deliver the things. No, take a time. Okay, so in my case, I don't want Git to be track env file. That's why I said, okay, echo env file into .git ignore. When you have multiples, then use two angular brackets, this sign. Okay, if you do this one, then whatever file entries are there will be overridden. So if something or some contents are already there, in my case, I have created this file. There is, because I'm creating, not created in this by this command, right? And putting this content. When you have more content, use two angular brackets. Okay, so that will perform same thing but end append. So content will go at the end. Then what happened? It says here nothing added to commit, but untrack and all these things. Then I said git add dot ignore commit initial commit for dot git ignore file added, and all set. And still it is not showing my file. Env file is untracked, right? So in that way, you could do or do the configure by your own. This is one of the way, but there is more simpler way. When you create repository and so after creating a repository, you see this page, right? It says quick setup. So out of quick setup, you have this thing over here. If you see, okay, we recommended this readme license and .git ignore file. So when you click on this, okay, when you click on this, then what happened? This will be open automatically over there, and here you have option choose .git ignore templates. So if you are working on Python, type Python. If you have Java, put Java. If your project is Terraform, put Terraform, and you will get everything default standard. The genius people already know. And if you are working on something you are not sure, go to the technologies official website, search on the internet, what should I put in dot. That's what I do. If I am not sure, then I search on the internet and I put all those things in .git ignore file, because we cannot remember. Okay, there are a lot of hidden folders, hidden directory is get created, okay, when you perform some of the commands. That's why these are very important. Okay, another thing, this is one of the way. Second thing, when you create repository here, right? So here is also one of the option, right? So, and it says here dot git ignore, okay, and dot git ignore template none. When you click on this, you will also have a chance, okay, at the very same time when you are initializing a repository, okay, and by which you can add the git remote repository. So that's it on git remote thing. Okay, and I have one more thing for you, okay, which is more collaborative thing. So I think this one. Okay, now, but before that, We'll quickly take a break. Okay, 10 minutes break, and we come back and then we start with this. But before I let you go on break, do you have any questions on this, the topics which I have shown you so far? Thank you, Pushpin. Okay, thank you very much. So let's go on a break quickly, and oops, not 10 minutes. Okay, go and take a break, refresh yourself. Please come back in 10 minutes. Alright guys, I'm back.
Yes, sir.
Uh, let's start with the another topic. Okay, and it's a second last topic for this entire day 3, right? Elevate teamwork. So in this, we will be seeing how, so far we have seen all this thing, right? How we can uh, do SSH, access the repository, how we can configure our profile, how we can do the branching, merging, right? How we can do undo and git ignore things, right? All these things. Now in this section, we will, or of course, we are in the same section, but in this one, we will see how we collaborate when multiple teams work in the same project, how happen, right? Or I would say how actually DevOps, right? So DevOps, I'm not saying only for DevOps, those who is working as a DevOps role. I'm saying in DevOps, right? When entire team, right? When they work, so how this entire workflow, right? Entire workflow, how you make a changes, how you merge changes. Okay, so it's a kind of process. Right? When you work on real life production thing, you really don't directly say, okay, now I'm done, I'm merging. So like branch B2 to B1, you merge because that was your own thing, right? On locally. But when you have to merge on remote, then there are so many steps you have to follow. That is formal steps. And you could see that as a workflow, right? So let's see what happened. So very first time when I said get push origin, right? It pushed my all the local changes, right? And to the remote repository, right? And I was at branch master, right? And here you could see the branch log, right? Everything is over here. Then I said git branch. I was still on master. Then I did a checkout git branch b1, and I said git push origin. And I was saying before it's the same. Like it says the fatal. It said git push set upstream or -u origin b1. Don't do it, right? So, and it says to have this happen automatically for branches without tracing upstream. See, these are all this, but I would say manually provide the branch name. Okay, then what happened here? Again, I come back, right? I switch the branch. It's the same one. When after that I said git push origin branch b1, and it says new branch. So far you always seen this option, new branch b1. Okay, that's completely fine. And again I come back over here, right? And I could see these are my logs, right? And inside this, when you click on this master, right, here you could see once the local branch is pushed to the repository, right? So in remote you could see like this, and here you can also see what is your default branch, and it says default branch is master, right? You can also control which branch you want to make as a default, right? Because of the protection control policies. Okay, that's fine, but you have option whatever you want to make a default, you can make it default anywhere in settings. Okay, then what happened, I change the branch, then I can see all the commits over here, everything whatever was there, right? And if I come back on my terminal, I said like this, and I said git checkout branch dash b1 f1. Then I said git branch, okay, f1. Then I created one file. It's a pull request. So here we are talking about pull request, right? Let's come on this in a while or shortly. So I stretch the file, okay, and I commit the changes, and then all set. After that I get origin, I git push origin f1, okay, and it says new branch f1 f1. That's completely fine. Again I come back, And here what happened when you push a new branch, okay, it says f1 has recently pushed 6 months ago, and it says compare and pull request. So pull request is simple. It's whenever you have some local I mean not local changes, whenever you make some changes in your code and you want to merge with your existing, let's say your main code is in master branch, right? So when you want to merge this, it means you are proposing a changes. So in real world, it's not like that you locally merge f1 branch into the master and push it back. No, you don't do that. You push the changes to the remote, okay, and in remote new branch is created, and at the same time there is option to create a pull request. Okay, so you once you push, then you create a pull request, and when you click on this compare and pull request, here you can see able to merge. These branches are branches can be automatically merged. Okay, if conflict is there, everything you will get. So here basically by default it's your master branch is default, that's why it's saying f1 into the master branch. Okay, then here I said okay, initial commit, okay, pull request.txt file added, and so it's a title. Okay, so I'm opening it's a kind of, let's say I'm opening a ticket in my GitHub or version control system, right, for my teammates or whoever is can review. So here if you see here there is no reviews, okay, reviewers, there nobody, assignee nobody, labels nobody, project nothing, milestone everything. But out of this I'll come to on this point. So let's say reviewer, so there is a setting. Of course I'm an admin over here, so that's why I have this option. So here as a repository or as a this tool or GitHub admin, you have option, right? Or maybe your core GitHub admin team only make you admin for this particular repository, right? So that's a more admin side of a thing also available with the GitHub. But let's consider uh, I'm working with more 10 people, right? So I can put, and out of 10 there are 3 are senior DevOps or senior developers or senior QAs or managers, like that. So those can reviews. Okay, so I can put those people name over here, and these are the assignees. So let's say you are working on AWS infrastructure as a code. So here there are possibility, there are people those who only knows about the or AWS thing, or they only review about the AWS. So here you can open pull request, you can assign those guys, and it can be more, one or more, right, depending on the policy how many reviewers you want, right? And so and label, it's okay, project is okay, just leave it. So these two are important, which happens in real life, right? When you actually work in company, you have, or sometimes it is automatically is also there, reviewers are by default already set, assignees are already there or something like that. Okay, so let's come back over here. So I have to put option, so by default it just came over here, whatever commit was there, that's completely fine. If you want to put something else, or maybe let's say your ticket number or whatever thing you have, whatever is best suit to your needs, reference number put over here, then it says please review PR and merger. So instead of merge I put it merger. Okay, yeah, my fingers are sometimes twisted and cheated me. So that's what happened. So consider it, read this as it's a merge. Okay, so I request those who has access, those who can review. Okay, so I requested them, and after that I will open pull request. So as soon as I click on this, then the person, okay, if nobody is assigned, so maybe somebody is there, their job is to assign the pull request to the reviewers, right? So yeah, it happens. I observe, I witness those things. So when you work in that kind of giant companies, yes, there is a dedicated person those who perform this thing. Okay, so when you click on this, so here it says like this merge I mean it is there where we were, yeah, so create pull request. So this will open like, Okay, and here you have option. So it says okay, required approval, because nothing is there. You could also see the rule. So you, when you follow along, try to set some rule. Okay, and then you have this continuous integration has not been sent. That's okay, ignore this. We are not learning GitHub actions. Okay, and other options are also, but explore those when you have time, but not now. Okay, then you also have option create a merge commit and squash or squish and merge and rebase and merge. Okay, so these are the things is there. I'm fine with default one. Okay, so who will do this? Okay, those who are reviewer can do this. Okay, if you are not, I mean, you are not approver, okay, you are not reviewer, you could not do this. You can only open. Okay, open pull request once they're done. And here is also kind of neat section where they can say some suggestion. Okay, this line of code is not correct, correct it and do it again, then you will be notified. And this ping pong game plays if nothing is I mean, if you keep, not you, if keep on errors are there. Okay, and it's very good reviewer, they really want you to learn something, they will provide very nice feedback in this section after that. And once it is done, then they say okay, now I'm satisfied, I could click on this merge pull request and I'm done. And I could say okay, confirm and merge. When I click this, and this merge is done. Okay, and there are other option as well. You can delete the branch from here as well. Sometimes it is possible, these are your default policies, default rule. When you merge, then it will be deleted automatically, or if you want to keep. But I would say be sure for this lifecycle policies, because when you work on so many branches, so many pull requests, then at the end it will be overhead, or not overhead, it's a headache to delete branch manually. Okay, though we know how we can delete and do all the things, right? But then it's over here, and if still if something is there, so I can write a review, right? But it's fine, we merge, we got this like this. And after that, what happened? Git log one line. So whatever was on the local, then here you could see there is a new commit happening, which is this one, merge pull request. Okay, and you could see both the commits have the same thing, and it says verified. Here it was not saying anything, right? And I am at master, right? So before I just push and merge, nothing, but this time it was by the verification or pull request, the proper one, I would say. Fine. Okay, any questions over here, guys? Okay, thank you very much. So good. So this is last. I would like to show something over here, and if you guys agree, we can extend maybe 30 minutes more. Okay, okay, great, great. Let's go ahead. So okay, so for this I will go to the terminal. Thank you. Okay, and let's see what we have. So here is the repository. Okay, okay, in this thing, let's go back to, I guess this was the repository. I have some of the repository. Okay, and this one I was saving to show everything how it happened. So already we saw in the animation and we know okay where is what. So I was letting you know or telling you about this option. I already told you. Okay, .git ignore file, readme file. If you want to learn or if you want to add some licensing, this is the option. But in this case, what I'm gonna do, let's say we know all these things, right? So I'm saying add readme file. Okay, and commit change created, and I would say initial commit and created. I've done this, and now I already initialized, so there is no chance I cannot go back and see the repository content. I mean, that setup page, right? So what I will do, I already enable SSH keys, so I will select this one and I go over here. I say git clone and this one. So VCS dsoc3 stage. We have this one. Okay. Then I said VCS dsoc3 and I go into this directory. Let's see what we have. So git remote, there is option git remote git remote origin. So we know origin means this one, right? I could also see, okay, git status, also see git branch, and this time I could say this one. I could also remote one branch. Okay, so this is how we see what are the branches are available. Okay, here we see the entire workflow that happens in real life. Okay, so let me first create one file. Let's say echo and say version 1.0.0.0. I create the same file version 1.0.0 and .txt. That's fine. I will do git status. Know this git. I think command fonts are sufficient, I believe, right? So and now I will add this v1. Okay, then I will commit this I would say second commit, yeah, second commit, and in this I have v1.0.0.txt. That's done. Boom. Then I would say git push origin, and this time I do not have master. Okay, if you see I have main branch. So what I will do, I said git push origin main, and it should go everything. Let's see what happened. Okay, completely fine. This is one of my branch. Now what I want to do, I want to release. Okay, that's what we saw since beginning. Okay, so this time I'm fine. It's initial version of my application. Okay, version 1.0.0. I just give it a the dummy name, nothing special, but it's the same. The concept is remained the same. Okay, now I want to release it. So what I will do, I will create a tag. Okay, I mean, let me clear my screen so we can go with log one, but first go with this, but still I have to, it's not good. Then I will say git log dash dash one line. Okay, it's better. I could see. So now I want to release this as a my application. So what I can do here, I can simply do the tagging. Okay, so tags are very good, right? So let's do the tagging, but before that, if you see, there is nothing over here. Okay, in release we do not have anything, we do not have tag, right? So what we will do, let's say git tag, and after that I would say version 1.0.0, and we are done. I said this, then I can list my tag, so I can execute the command git tag, right? After that, what happened, I will have to push this to. So at the moment, if I refresh this, so we know now so far whatever changes we are making on locally, we have to push this to the remote. So what I will do, git push and origin and main, and I want to push this track to the remote. So I will just copy. Okay, so we have to push the tag to the remote. Okay, and sorry, I think we don't need it. So version 1.0 point, sorry. Okay, then I executed this command. Okay, it says new tag and it's pushed. So let's go over here and check. So far, let me just duplicate this one. So and reload this one, and here we could see tag one, and here we did not have anything. So when I click on this, and here I could see my tag. Okay, when I click, it's okay. That's completely fine. Correct. Now this is one thing, but we do not have any release, right? So we'll come on the release as well, but here we have version 1.0.0, and when I click, so that's how we download open source application source code from the GitHub, right? It says GitHub, .zip file .cz automatically, and when you download and see, you would be able to see the files, okay, of the content. So in this we just put dummy text and dummy file, nothing special. Again, I can go back over here and you can see it's a private repository. We are not doing anything publicly. Okay, we'll come on this create new release, how this happened. Okay, then now this time what I'll go ahead and say git checkout, and okay, so sorry about that, and let me go back. So I was on this repository, right, and to check what we have done. Git branch, okay, git status, everything is cool. Okay, so I wanted to show you the how we can create a branch. So there is option git. So we know git branch is one of the option, then we check out, but here this time we are going to create as well as the do the checkout. So first let me show you the we are at branch b1. I'm sorry, not b1, main. Then we say git checkout and then dash b. When you use dash b, it means if branch is not there, then this it will create a branch. If branch is there, still you will do the checkout. So this is one command for two things, and why not? So let's say the release branch, release, okay. And now if I execute command git branch, I could say I'm at branch release, right? So in this, let's say the final version or maybe other release I want to do. So I edited the file and we have the file this C, okay, and I open, I just press O, it will directly open editor in insert mode and just go to the next line. So I said okay, the final release of, just putting as a 1.1.10, okay, and then I save it with it, and of course nothing is there, I have to add, but this time I'm not gonna use git add this because the file is already known to the git, okay, and it says the changes are not staged. It means the file is being tracked by the git, so I can avoid that. I could say git add am, okay, and let's say let's say version, okay, v 1.1.0, and then what up, sorry guys, we need to say git commit. So let me clear and back over here. So then I will execute, I have to commit, then I committed, and now I'm at branch, which branch I am. So I forgot, I can quickly see by which git branch release. So this time I will git push origin, and origin is simple release. So select this as I'm being lazy and git push origin, and it says publicly, of course. Then what I need to do, I need to finally show you how you can do this. So let me see if I can search. Okay, this is one of the command. Yeah, okay, you got it. And then I have option dash t, and by which I could see, okay, you're successfully authenticated. Okay, so this is what happened. You need to always um, provide this when your session got stuck, okay, or lost, something like that. Okay, so now let me clear the screen first and go back and push origin release. Okay, so of course new branch, that's completely fine, we are okay with that. Then I go over here, compare and pull request, this is okay. So this is final version of 1.1 or blah blah blah. It's like this. I create pull request. Of course I do not have anybody, but it says assign yourself. Okay, let me do it. I will be notified. I also have this rule option, but I'm fine with that. I said confirm, and now the changes has merged. Okay, now if I go back to my repository, then what happened? Still I did not delete the branch, but I have code, right? And I could see the code over here. It says this one. And if I go over here, you could see it says plus. So when you see the changes online, so red it means remove or delete of those lines. Plus means the files in the lines or content has been added. Okay, by which you can see the lines over here. It's okay, we merge, all good. Now we need to create another tag version 1.0 point and something like that. If I go over here, tags, where it is gone. Mm, okay, yep. So now we need to create a tag, but before that, git log online. Sorry guys, I didn't prepare it, but just so it's not I would say I planned, but I thought, okay, instead of showing the things on slides, I thought, okay, it's better to go with this. So now we already have seen git tag. So git tag is one of the command, right? So we have only one, but this time we will use something else for the tag. So what we will do, git tag and mm, okay, this time we will go ahead and do with the commit. So last time we did not make any, we did not tell, okay, which tag is, I mean, which commit ID is our tag, right? So tag is means simply we are considering this commit as a specific um, release, or whatever changes we made, this was the final. So that's why I showed you before without specifying any commit ID. When you do it, so whatever is your latest one or recent one, it will tag automatically to that one. Okay, this time what we are doing, we are saying okay, git tag, right? And this time we will do some append thing. Okay, dash a and mm, let's say version 1.1.0, and this time I want this to be, so it happened twice. So this commit I want to be as a version 1.1.0. I mean, of course, it is not happened, but just as a use case, I'm just showing you. Okay, and then I have to put some message, and this message says let's say release or pre-release, I would say, just as example. No, final release. Okay, fine. And release of version 1.1.0. That's it. And I do like this, and then I say git tag. I could list and I could push origin and this time I would have to say the tags. Wait, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, fine. So it's like this, and come back over here, refresh this page. Now we have two. Okay, so we have two tags, and here when I click on this, so let's create a release. So we are also maintaining the branches. Okay, main branch, release branch. So let's say this time we want to go with release branch. Okay, and let's say version, why not 1.1 this one, and all good. It also says somewhere generate release notes. I said okay, release notes are also put, and but I want to put it as a pre-release, so I could select it and I said publish over here. So when I come back, I could see okay, these two assets, what it has, and it is released. And if I go back on my home, right, I can see why it's not showing. Okay, it should be showing something over here. It's a pre-list. Okay, let's do it once again. And let's put git tag. Let me first clear git tag version 1, not 1.2.0. Okay, and we should go to the default one, and we say git tag, and we can say git log line. Okay, so you could see 1.2. So if I didn't mention anything, it automatically associated with my the recent one. Okay, now I have option git push and origin, and this time I want to push only version 1.2 and 0 should be there. And where is this? Okay, then we have this one 1.2.0. Okay, and create trees from this. Okay, generate this one, and this time I would say okay, fine, and this one is latest. Okay, so it shows like this. Okay, and it's still I have branches. Okay, so I'm maintaining branch as well as I'm doing the releases with the my tags. Okay, so I think that's very quick to show you how the tagging work, and there are so many other things as well. So let's say I want to delete one of the tags. So how would I do? So I say git tag, it will list me. So I say git tag, and I use -d to delete my tag, one of the tag, and I want to delete 1.2.0. All right, it's deleted. Then this happened at locally, and now we know if we have to make it or delete it remotely, then what we have to do, we have to do git push origin, right? Origin. And let's see, dash dash delete, but let's see whether it works. I didn't try. Okay, so either you could use instead of dash d or dash dash delete, what works. So let's go ahead and check what happened at remote repository. Okay, now one tag has gone, and release this also. So this is how you really, I mean, delete, and you can commit the particular, I mean, you can tag to particular commit as a tag, right? You could also have option if you don't provide any hash, not hash, I mean commit hash like this we did here, right? In otherwise it will associate it with the very recent one. Okay, so that's how this thing happened, and I believe that's enough. One more thing I would like to show you. If we go in the settings, okay, and here is the branch. I was asking you, I was telling you about how you can protect the branch, right? It says 8 branch rule, right? So let's say master, so enforce, I said okay, active, and here it says target, so I said include all branches or default branches. Okay, and here it says request, where is pull push request, here there is the option. Okay, and it asks you required approval. So if your project requires multiple teams approval, so or multiple people's approval, you can select from over here, and you can say create, right? And now it asks me for my two-factor authentication, or it's my code, right? So I can go to my app, and I can open, and I can provide the code, and the code is like 8, 7, and 6. That's completely fine, right? So yeah, you get this. If your repository is private, your rules won't be enforced on private repository. But it's asking me for this. So GitHub teams and organizations are administrative work, but long story short, when you make it public, your repository, so just make your repository public. And how you can make it? So when you come on settings part, okay, here is the option, right? Create or change repository visibility, and here you can change it to public. Okay, I want to make it public. All good. Make this repository public. My repository is now public and my rule has been set. So I can check the rules. I think it should come. Yeah, master. Okay, so now it's enforced. So if I push anything, right? So let's say git what git branch met release. So let's say git checkout. Okay, and git checkout main, and I say git merge. What was the branch name? Release. Oops, sorry. Merger. Okay, and then git push origin main. See, rejected. Okay, so it says failed to push this and this locally is caused because another repository pushing, and there are so many things. So as we have already protected our branch, so that's how you protect your main code. Okay, and when you create a row rules, you also have some sort of repository, I mean rules over there. You would say, okay, let's branches start with the release, let's say branches start with measure version or something like that. So play around it, learn, and create this rule. So I'm gonna delete this rule. Okay, and again I go back to the setting, right? And here it says danger zone. Okay, that's fine. So here I would also like to show you how you can delete the repository. This is the option, but before that I would like to say git clone. uh, Sorry, git not clone. It's already cloned. Git pull. Okay, so I have everything over here, the from the remote, right? From all the branches, I believe there is no harm. Now I have option also delete. I'm gonna delete this. I have read, so I have to just copy and paste this option over here, and it is gonna delete. So my this account has been deleted. I mean this repository has been deleted. Okay. Additionally, I can also go ahead and delete one by one all this repository. Let's say if I go over here and do like this, go over here and say delete. Okay, I read everything, copy and paste. That's how you delete the GitHub repository. Okay, so this is the way to delete the GitHub repository, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and do this for this as well. Okay, and yeah, additionally if, what I can do, I can go to settings, right, account, and yeah, it says delete account. So yes, I want to delete my account as well. Okay, so it says type your username. So what I will do, verify delete my account. So I'm gonna type dsoc3. I'm completely fine, that's why I created this account. So I'm gonna delete my GitHub account. So I have to provide my username. To verify, type delete my account below. And you could see I cannot copy this. They are smart enough, they know, okay, we will do like this. It says delete my account. This is the way you can provide and delete the account. So I think it's enough on this. I showed you what and how this happened. So this is not, I mean, we are not done yet with the GitHub. It's a start of the our GitHub, right? And so far, I mean, this is enough. In next session, we will start Jenkins and we will see further step. But in this section, we have learned all these things, right? SSH, how we can do the profile configuration, how we can do the branching, how we can do the merging, and today what we talk about, and undo, how we can do the undo, remote local staging area, working directory station, all these things. We also learn ignore, git ignore way, right? Here we learn how we can do the push pull request and all these things. and in advance I just give you the small demo too. But I mean, rest everything I showed you, right? So that's why I didn't spend much time, but here I showed you how this happened, right? So you get a feel, right, about everything, how you can create rules and teams. There are so many things to learn, but for, I believe, I shared the things with you which is more than enough. Okay, and not only just for starting, you can do the advanced things as well. Okay, and with that said, we are completed with day 3 and part 3 as well. Okay, and in next session we will start with the Jenkins, and only I just showed you how GitHub happens. I mean, how GitHub works. Now we will see how this GitHub we use in when we set up a pipeline, when this continuous integration, and what is the role of Jenkins server when we do the continuous integration part. Okay, so that we will see next week, in next session. Okay, do you have any questions? Okay, Pushpan, thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Yeah, Pushpan, you could type in a chat. Mm, yeah, yeah, sure. Go ahead. I answer. Yeah. So questions. Okay, let me read out the question first, so everybody understand, right? So, 1 second. Mm, mm, mm. So Pushpan has asked, can we add multiple accounts SSH key in single system to work with multiple projects? So yes, you can definitely add multiple SSH key for different accounts on single system. Okay, and for that, um, I showed you how you can create your keys for that. Okay, but yes, in short answer, yes, you could do. Yeah. Any further question? Okay, so when you one short note, I mean quick note on that, your question, when you go to the I mean, you have this ssh config file in your home directory .ssh-config, right? So you need to make entries in that, right? Yeah, yeah, so that's a quick answer, but you could do. Okay, Pushpan says no further questions. Anybody has any more questions for me? Okay, so I take it as a no, and this is the contact details. And I hope, guys, to that today's session you is more helpful, or you learn new things. Thank you, Vishnu. Thank you, Vishnu. Rakesh, and yeah, thank you very much. So do practice, and I will share more questions with you. And I hope you already did the last question which I shared with you before, right? And yes, and see each other next week with the new topic. We'll start with the Jenkins or our automation thing. Okay, then big thank you, guys, and see you next week.